you are listening or watching Radio Afinju. The time is 9 a.m.
Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ Àfínjú. Lórí WhatsApp. Àfínjú. Instagram. Àfínjú. Facebook. Àfínjú. Lórí X. Àfínjú. Lórí YouTube. Àfínjú. Lórí TikTok. Àfínjú. Kí lorúkọ rẹ̀? Àfínjú. Ẹ bá mi pè o. Àfínjú. Rédíò. Àfínjú. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ 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 Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú. Rédíò Àfínjú.
Stay informed with news on Radio Afinju.
The time is 2 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock, and good morning to you this beautiful Wednesday morning. Today being the 1st of October 2025. I say Happy New Month to you, and also today is the Independence Day of Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria at 65. That is a long time coming. And from all of us at Radio Afinju, we say Happy Independence Day, Nigeria, because we celebrate today. We honor our great nation and also the brave souls that have fought for our freedom, for the joy and celebration, and also hope for future. Yes, because we believe that Nigeria is going to be great again. And we also celebrate this important and pivotal moment in our nation's history because, yes, 65 years ago, Nigeria gained our independence. And we reflect on the sacrifices of our heroes past. We say happy independence and Nigeria will be great again. Good morning to you once again, and you're welcome to the Dailies on Radio Afinju, where we bring you the news making the front pages and the headlines of our national dailies to your hearing. Yes, my name is Tolulope Awoyale, and I'll be with you from now to the hour of 10 o'clock, and I'll be bringing you the news and the stories just for you to be well informed from your favorite newspaper, from Punch, The Nation, Vanguard, Nigerian Tribune, all the newspaper. I'll be bringing them to you this morning, and my name is Tolulope Awoyale. Do not forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afinju. And with me this morning, I have the Punch newspaper with me. I have The Nation, I have the Vanguard newspaper, and also I have Nigerian Tribune this morning. We'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, I'll bring you the headlines before we go into the news in full. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're welcome back, and this is still the Dailies on Radio Afiju. And I am starting off with the Punch newspaper this morning. We have actually quite the same news on most of the newspaper this morning. So on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, the banner headline here reads Nigeria at 65. Coming from our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says the worst is over and hope rising for Nigeria. The rider under it says President lists 12 economic milestones of reforms and flaunts achievement in education, agriculture, health, and others. And that can be found on the page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And to the top right corner of the Punch newspaper, fuel queue resurface as Pegasan and Dangote fuel depends. And that is on the page 27 of the Punch newspaper this morning. INEC chair, DSS screens nominees and council of state to meet. And that's on the page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And that is all that we have on the Punch newspaper this morning. And moving on to the Nation newspaper, the banner headline also reads Tinubu lists 12 economic milestones achieved. Yes, and also to the top part of the Nation newspaper, NSA steps into Dangote and Pegasan dispute, and that can be found on the page 2 of the Nation newspaper. How Lagos and Ibadan Rail is defining commerce. The news can be found on the page 33 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Owerri stands still for Uzodima's book presentation, and that's on the page 2 of the Nation newspaper also. Wike will hunt down killers of Arise TV reporter. That is on the page 8 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And that is all we have on the front page of the Nation newspaper today. And moving on to Vanguard newspaper, the banner headline also reads Nigeria at 65. The worst is over. From the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says, we've turned a new corner. Says all hands should be on deck for nation building. The writer also says notes economy on rebound with 4.23% GDP growth and $42 billion reserves and lowest inflation in 3 years. And that can be found on the page 3 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And also still on the Vanguard newspaper, good governance. Igbo speaking people from 8 states honors Soludo. And that's on the page 38 of the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, Dangote and Pegasan, darkness looms as electricity generation falls. And that is on the page 42 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And to the last newspaper I will be picking this morning, Nigerian Tribune. The banner headline also reads, Greater Nigeria, Tinubu's building blocks. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, Nigeria now on path to recovery. Tinubu assures the nation as it turns 65. The writer here says, challenges naysayers to review and compare Nigeria's journey since 1960. And the news can be found on the page 12 of the Nigeria Tribune this morning. I am no longer a politician, Olubadan tells Atiku, El Rufai and others. And that can be found on the page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And lastly on the Nigerian Tribune, security operatives storm bandits camp in Kwara and kill many. And that is on the page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And that is all the news I'll be bringing to you this morning. So we're going straight to the Punch newspaper now. And I'm picking my first story from the Punch newspaper here that says, Nigeria at 65. The worst is over. Hope rising for Nigeria. That is coming from our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday assured Nigerians that the country's worst days are over. He declared that his economic reforms are beginning to deliver results and that hope is rising for a more prosperous nation. Delivering his national broadcast to mark the country's 65th independence anniversary, Tinubu said his administration has chosen the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today since coming into office in May 2023, and the Nigerians are now beginning to see tangible results. I am pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safe harbor, the president said. Tinubu hailed the resilience of Nigeria, saying the country has survived a civil war, military rule, political crisis, and is still striving to build a more perfect union. He described the 65th anniversary as a moment of reflection on sacrifices that the nation's founding fathers and progress achieved since independence in 1960. The president also highlighted achievements in education and healthcare, noting that Nigeria has grown from just 2 tertiary institutions at independence to 274 universities, 183 polytechnics, and 236 colleges of education by 2024. Tinubu defended his economic reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidies and unification of foreign exchange rate, which he said has ended decades of distortion and rent-seeking. According to him, this difficult decision freed resources for investment in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and social programs. He argued that in resetting our country for a sustainable growth, we ended the corruption, fuel subsidies, and multiple foreign exchange rates that created massive incentive for a rentier economy, benefiting only a tiny minority. Our administration has redirected the economy towards a more inclusive path, channeling money to fund education, healthcare, national security, agriculture, and critical economic infrastructure. The president reeled out of this 12th economic milestone that he achieved in the last 2 years and 4 months in the office. He said Nigeria's GDP grew by 4.23% in the second quarter of 2025 and the fastest in 4 years, while inflation has declined to 20.12%, the lowest level in 3 years. The president added that non-oil revenue has risen sharply, debt service cost has reduced, foreign reserves has increased to $42.3 billion, and the tax to GDP ratio has grown to 13.5%. He also noted that Nigeria has posted trade surpluses for 5 consecutive quarters, which manufactured export to 173% and non-oil export are now representing 48% of total trade. Oil production added that has recovered 1.68 million barrels per day, while local refining had restarted for the first time in 4 decades alongside export of aviation fuel. The news is well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. From Tinubu celebrating Nigeria at 65, he said, "The worst is over, hope rising for Nigeria." Now, moving away from the celebration of Nigeria at 65 and coming down to Osun State politics, Osun 2026 APC releases timetables and fixes nomination fee at 50 million naira. The All Progressives Congress on Tuesday released the schedule of activities and fees for the 2026 governorship election in Osun State, detailing timelines for nomination, screening, delegate congresses, and primary elections. In a statement signed by the National Organizing Secretary, Sulaiman Agogo, and issued from the party's National Secretariat in Abuja, the APC said the election process will commence with the notice of election to the state chapter on Friday, 3rd October 2025, while the updates of the membership register will run from Monday 20th October to Friday 31st October 2025. Members whose name appear on the register and are up to date in paying their membership dues over the past year to February 2025 will be eligible to vote and be voted for, the statement said. The timetable also highlighted key dates for the sale and submission of nomination and expression of interest forms. The sale of nomination and expression of interest forms commences on Wednesday, 12 November 2025. The last day for submission and completed nomination form, expression of interest forms, and accompanying document and submission of delegate form is Monday, 1st December 2025, the statement also added. The party has clarified arrangement for women, persons with disabilities, and youth aspirants. Female aspirants and persons with disabilities are to purchase the expression of interest form while the nomination form is free. Youth age 25 to 40 are to purchase the expression of interest form with a 50% discount on the nomination form, is stated. According to the schedule, the fees for the governorship raise expression of interest form at 10 million naira, form 40 million naira, total for governorship 50 million naira, and delegate form 5,000 naira. Forms will be available to the APC Directorate of Organization in Abuja. Expression of interest form and also nomination form will be available for the purchase at the Directorate of Organization, APC National Headquarters, Abuja. The schedule also included procedures for delegate election, and members to elect delegates will be financial members of the party for not less than 3 months and delegate congresses at the rate of 200 per month, the party said. Other milestones outlined in the timetable include screening of aspirants, publication of results, appeal period, and the conduct of governorship primary elections. The news is also well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. Says Osun 2026, APC releases timetable and fixes nomination fee at 50 million naira. Moving away from politics and coming down to the economic sector, still on the Punch newspaper, Dangote to redeploy disengaged workers, federal government says. The federal government has said the Dangote Group will redeploy staff earlier disengaged from its refinery operations following the resolution of its dispute with the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. The federal government also announced that the redeployed staff would not suffer any loss of pay due to the redeployment. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Mohammed Megari Denyagi, confirmed this in a statement issued in Abuja and said, after examining the procedure used in disengagement of workers, the meeting agreed that the management of Dangote Group shall immediately begin the process of redeploying the disengaged staff to other companies within the Dangote Group with no loss of pay. No worker will be victimized arising from the role of an impasse between Dangote and Pegasan. He further explained that both sides had reached a compromise, noting that Pegasan agreed to start the process of calling off the strike. Both parties agreed to this understanding in good faith. The minister also stressed that the union is a right of workers in accordance with the laws of Nigeria and rights should be respected. The conciliation meetings followed a breakdown in the earlier talks between the refinery management and Pegasan, which had ended in a deadlock on Monday. The rift began after Pegasan alleged that the refinery had engaged in mass transfers and sacking of union members while also replacing some Nigerians with foreign nationals, claims that the company consistently denied. The situation escalated when Pegasan altered gas and crude oil supplies to the refinery, prompting the federal government to intervene over concern about the impact of disputes on the nation's economy. Meeting. A statement issued in the early hours of Wednesday by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Megari, disclosed the matter and was resolved following lengthy discussions. According to the statement, the resolution reached included the Honorable Minister of Labour informed the meeting and the unionization of right of workers in accordance with the laws of Nigeria, and the right should be respected. After examining the procedure and disengagement of workers, the meeting agreed that the management of Dangote should immediately begin the process of redeploying the disengaged staff to other companies within the Dangote group with no loss of pay. The news is also well detailed on the Punch newspaper. Says federal government announces end of Pegasan. Now moving on to the Nation newspaper, I'm picking my first story on the Nation here that says Nigeria racing against time to fix decades of neglect, coming from President Bola Tinubu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared Nigeria that is racing against time to address decades of underinvestment in power, roads and infrastructure. In his 65th independence anniversary broadcast, the president defended his administration's tough reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy and unification of foreign exchange rates, insisting that the country has turned the corner towards recovery. Tinubu acknowledged that the hardship Nigerians are facing, but assures that his government is channeling resources into education, healthcare, security and critical infrastructure to secure a prosperous and self-reliant future. And that is also well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. Says Nigeria racing against time to fix decades of neglect. Still on the Nation newspaper, I'm going down to Edo State. Edo Assembly refuses to confirm ex-lawmaker as commissioner. Edo Assembly has refused to clear a former lawmaker, Christopher Okaiben, as a commissioner, who was among the 7 commissioner nominees that appeared before the Assembly. Others cleared and confirmed were John Akibe, Festus Ebia, Elizabeth Ebosele, Jerry Uwauge, Kenneth Okorua and Usobo Paul Eige. Okaben was told to attend a petition before the Department of State Services DSS and appear for screening. The Edo Speaker Blessing Agbiaku, who spoke while addressing the emergency plenary, said Okaben, who represented Oredo West constituency, had issues to settle with the DSS, and the speaker said the report was submitted by screening committee, and according to him, 6 out of 7 commissioner nominees before us today have been sworn in and also cleared and confirmed, except one, who is our former colleague, Honorable Chris Okaiben, who had a question to answer with DSS. So I think he has to report to the DSS office for clearance. And that is the report before me. The report is the screening committee and that I am not a member of the committee. The committee submitted a report after saying this. After his appearance with the DSS, they can take him and clear him, and that is not a problem at all. And he will resume office after he has clarified his old issues with the DSS. And the news is also well detailed in the Nation newspaper. You want to read more on it. It says Edo Assembly refuses to confirm ex-lawmaker as commissioner. I'm still on the Nation newspaper this morning, and I'm coming down also to Osun State. Osun 2026, APC will emerge victorious, Oyetola says. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has expressed confidence that the All Progressives Congress APC will secure victory in the 2026 Osun State governorship election. Oyetola made a declaration during a special prayer held at his country home Iragbiji, Boripe local government area to mark his 71st birthday. He noted that the APC in the state is growing stronger in unity and urged party members to continue fostering peace and cohesion ahead of the polls. By God's grace, our party will emerge victorious in the forthcoming 2026 gubernatorial election. I thank God for the way things are going with our party and how we have been able to stand in unity, he said. He also added that he wants to encourage and to continue to go in that suit and ensure that peace and unity reign in the part, because that is how we can emerge victorious in 2026. Speaking about the sermon of Chief Imam of Offa, Sheikh Muhyiddin Salman, Oyetola encouraged the attendants to be a blessing to others rather than hoarding them. He also admonished the youth to be focused and dedicated to work with fear of God, warning that do not be involved in thuggery. We didn't involve in drug abuse before attaining this height. So please stay away from drug abuse because it only leads to mental issues. And the news is well detailed on the Nation newspaper this morning. Coming from Osun State, Oyetola says APC will emerge in the 2026 governorship election. Before we continue and moving on to the Vanguard newspaper, but before we go on, we'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, we'll continue bringing you the stories making the waves in our national dailies this morning. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Life no get duplicate.
Na so ẹ̀mí ò láàárọ̀ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o. Make you take am easy.
Na so.
Radio Afinju says if you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.
Tẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ o.
Make you take am easy.
Na so.
This awareness is brought to you by Radio Afinju.
Maka akụkọ okwu gbasara ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, egwu ma ọ bụ ihe na-eme na Naịjirịa ma ọ bụ ihe na-eme na mba ofesi, omenani, mgbasa ozi, ihe ndị a niile dị na Radio Afinju. N'eziokwu, Radio Afinju bụ nke izizi na radio stations na Osun State. Radio Afinju bụ amaala n'ịgbasa ozi.
For an ultimate entertainment experience. An all-round gist with your spicy honey drops. Yes. Don't miss the fun, excitement, and updates on Afinju Arena. Only on Radio Afinju.
Apology for waiting, say don't play, or you will learn.
Ìpèníjà pọ̀ láwùjọ, aráàlú ń pàráàrò, wọ́n ń fojú sọ́nà fún ìdàgbàsókè. Bẹ́ẹ̀ olóṣèlú náà ń pé adìyẹ ń làágùn, ìyẹ́ ni ò jẹ́ àrí. Ó wá di dandan ká mójú ajé kò ní sọ, ká ṣàkójọ àwọn ìpèníjà tí ń bẹ láwùjọ, ká tẹ́ pẹpẹ rẹ̀ fáwọn adarí ìjọba kí wọ́n sì sọ ìgbésẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń gbé láti wá ojútùú sí wọn. Èyí ló bí ètò Gbàgede Ọ̀rọ̀ lórí rédíò Àfinjú. Gbàgede Ọ̀rọ̀ ni ó máa ṣe ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ láàrin ará ìlú àtàwọn adarí ìjọba. Lórí ètò yìí a ó máa ṣàtúpalẹ̀ àwọn ìpèníjà àwùjọ, bẹ́ẹ̀ la sì máa fọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìkàn ìjọba tọ́rọ̀ kàn láti lè mú ìtẹ̀síwájú báwùjọ wa. Adédayọ̀ Dẹ́rínú, ọmọ wọn lẹ́sẹ̀ kò jọmọ ó nù, ni ó máa tọ́kùn ètò. Ẹ lè wo rédíò Àfinjú lórí àwọn àtẹ ayélujára Facebook àti YouTube. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ sì lè gbọ́ wa lórí rédíò Garden. Rédíò Àfinjú, ìlànà ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ tí ò lábàwọ́n. Gbàgede Ọ̀rọ̀, ètò tó ń yànnàná ohun tó rújú láàrin ará ìlú àtijọba. Kò ṣeé má gbọ́ ni ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Gbàgede Ọ̀rọ̀.
na my hustle be this. Na here I dey see my daily urgent 2k o. Ìhà yín ni mo ti ń rí ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì náírà pàjáwìrì tèmi lójoojúmọ́. On this program, we will bring people from different business backgrounds to come tell their stories and share insights with us. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́, oníṣòwò, ẹ gbáradì. Ètò ti kàn yín ní rédíò àfínjú. Bó o lẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, kí ni àwọn tójú yín rí, kí lẹ̀ ń tà gangan, bó o lẹ sì ti ń tà á. My hustle will give you a direct insight into the business world. Join Aderonke Lawal, Ayoka Ọmọ Àkànmú on My Hustle every Wednesday 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Radio Àfínjú to have your minds blown. Ẹ lè tẹ̀lé wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì abánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ wa pátápátá ní Radio Àfínjú. My Hustle, my urgent 2K.
Idan kana neman labarin da ya cika, maganan siyasa,
akwai lokacin da zai kawo telecommunication,
wakokin zamani na kasa da na kasan waje, al'ada. Idan kana so ka tsaya ko ka tsaya, duka zaka samu a Radio Àfínjú. Kwarai da gaske, Radio Àfínjú ne shugaban radio a nan Osogbo, Osun State. Radio Àfínjú in tsarin yana da labari mai inganci da kyau. Radio Àfínjú, an impeccable dimension to broadcasting.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all. We have will
Yeah, welcome back. And this is still the Dailies, where we're bringing you the news, making the waves and front pages of our national dailies to your hearings. And I'm on the Vanguard newspaper right now. Picking my first story here from the Vanguard that says, Olubadan to Atiku, I'm no longer a politician and I serve humanity now. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has reaffirmed his withdrawal from partisan politics, stressing that his foremost responsibility on the throne is to serve humanity with fairness and justice. The monarch made a declaration while receiving a high-powered delegation led by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar at his Bodija residence in Ibadan. Abubakar was accompanied by former People's Democratic Party National Chairman Senator Iyocha Ayu, former Cross River State Governor Senator Liel Imoke, and former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai. He said that he came personally to congratulate the Olubadan following his recent coronation, and the former vice president used the occasion to tender an unreserved apology for his absence at the historic coronation ceremony, citing an unavoidable logistical and protocol challenges. In his remarks, Abubakar addressed the Olubadan and assembled chiefs, saying, Kabiesi, I want to begin with an apology, and on behalf of my delegation, I regret our inability to personally witness your coronation, which we recognize as the fulfillment of your lifelong ambition. Our absence was not deliberate, but a result of protocol logistics that prevented us from attending. Nevertheless, we have always looked forward to this day, and I sought your permission a few days ago to bring these distinguished delegations to extend our congratulations in person and wish you a long, prosperous, and peaceful reign. Please accept our heartfelt apology and letter of congratulations. May God bless your reign and grant Ibadan continued progress, he said. And in response from Olubadan, said he warmly welcomed Abubakar and his team, recalling decades of personal and professional coronation with members of the delegation, and he disclosed that while he no longer participated in politics, he cherished the shared experiences of his political journey. Reflecting on his relationship with the visitor, and Obaladoja said, "My dear friend, you're welcome. Even though I am no longer a politician, the tie we share remains strong." He was indeed surprised that when I did not see any of you at the coronation, especially as I had followed the guest list and expected your presence. When I was told due to logistical constraint, I understood for such matters are often beyond one's control. He went on to recall our article was the first to inform him of the passing of the last Olubadan, noting their shared anticipation of his eventual ascension to the throne. The monarch also reminisced about his long-standing friendship with Senator Ayu, Senator Imoke, and El Rufai, recounting moments of their days in politics, the Senate, and even predictions about his governorship. And he said, "Now that I am Olubadan, I am no longer entitled to be anything else. My task is to serve people, and I have just passed 81. The rest of my years will be devoted to Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, and Africa, indeed humanity." He expressed his gratitude for the visit, and Obaladoja assured the guest that he would make all his friends and well-wishers proud. He also pledged to maintain close contact with them, promising future visits in appreciation, and the Olubadan stressed that under his reign, Ibadan will continue to pursue peace, prosperity, and justice for the people. The news is detailed on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From Olubadan to Atiku says, "I am no longer a politician and I serve humanity now." Still on the Vanguard newspaper, I'm going on to Kwara State. Kwara community grieves bandit attacks and asks government to step up security operations. The Okiode Community Development Association has expressed deep concerns over the last Sunday bandit attack on the town, which about 15 vigilantes and a village head were killed and about 5 were kidnapped. The national president of the Community Association, Alhaji Abdulganiu Ajala Bello, in a statement made available to newsmen in Ilorin, described the incident as a dastardly and a call for intensified security efforts on the part of government and the need for more vigilance on the part of residents of the community. Alhaji Ajala Bello, in a statement issued on his behalf by the National Publicity Secretary of the Association, Kunle Akogum, he commiserated with the families of the security officers and Bale of Ogba Ayo that lost their lives, as well as the wounded and those that were abducted in the sad incident. He prayed for the peaceful repose of the soul of the dead, quick recovery for the wounded, and early rescue for the abducted. The community leader also noted that the tragic incident had naturally sparked fear and caused panic and unease among residents of the community. He also appealed for calm as all necessary steps are being taken to put an end to banditry and kidnapping in Okiode Access. Alhaji Ajala Bello further urged the residents to be more vigilant and now about the movement of strangers around the community and promptly report any suspicious movement to the security agencies. He also appealed to both the Kwara State and federal government to take more proactive steps to tackle the nefarious activities of the bandits terrorizing Okiode access to avoid a reoccurrence of the sad incident. He further appealed to the various security operatives to collaborate and work together towards putting an end to banditry in the area. The news is well detailed on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. It says Kwara community grieve bandit attack and asks government to step up security operations. Now, moving on to Nigerian Tribune, and this will be my last newspaper I'll be picking this morning. My first story here says Lagos court remands NURTW leader for suspected murder. The Ebute Metta Chief Magistrate Court has remanded the leader of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Samsideen Oladiti, known as Chameleon, at the Correctional Center pending the legal advice from Director of Public Prosecution. Nigerian Tribune also reported that the Lagos State Police Command arrested Oladiti over allegations of assault and murder, and the 55-year-old man, according to the statement by Command Deputy Police Public Relation Officer Babasheyi Olusheyi, allegedly attacked a dispatch rider on Lagos Island using a helmet and fist to inflict serious injuries. The Command Deputy spokesperson also explained that a separate complaint had earlier been lodged against the suspect over an incident on August 28, 2025. He noted that during the altercation, Oladiti allegedly used a metallic ring to repeatedly strike another man on the head and face, leaving him with severe injuries. Olusheyi said that despite medical care, the victim died on September 17, 2025, and his remains are since deposited in the mortuary for autopsy. The suspect had since then been held at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Panti Yaba. The police, however, arraigned him to 3 counts charge, after which the court ordered his remand. The case was also adjourned on October 28, and the case was adjourned to October 28, and the case was ordered to be duplicated to the State Directorate of Public Prosecution for advice. It was gathered that the death of the deceased, identified as Imam Ramon, triggered protests at the suspect office in Sangoru Market, Lagos Island. Sympathizers are also said that set of 2 Adios motorcycle ablaze, heightening tension in the area, and the incident again brought the fall of the high-handedness of some officials in the country as residents called on government to curb their excesses. The news is well detailed on the Punch newspaper this morning. It says Lagos court remand NURTW leader for suspected murder. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, and this is also my last story I'll be picking this morning. Abducted lawyer sister regain freedom. The newly caught-to-bar lawyer Peace Oyesom and her sister Gift Oyesom, who were kidnapped along the Okene-Auchi Road on Friday, have regained their freedom. The victim's brother, Gus Power Oyesom, confirmed the release to a correspondent in telephone conversation, and they recalled that the Peace had participated in the Nigerian Law School call to bar ceremony on September 23rd She was returning to Benin, Edo State alongside her sister when they were kidnapped. The victim's sister, Adaize Oyesom, had in an exclusive interview with newsmen narrated that the abductors were demanding a ransom of 40 million naira. She noted that kidnappers reached out to the family demanding a sum of 100 million naira, which they pleaded to be reduced. Adaize said, when the kidnappers contacted us on Friday evening, they told us that we should bring 100 million naira, but we told them we cannot get such amount and we pleaded with them. On Saturday, they called back and reduced it to 20 million naira, but we told them we can only raise 3 million naira, but they declined. After a while, they called back to say they are not collecting anything less than 20 million naira for each person, which is 40 million naira for the two of them. We appealed that it is only 7 million naira that we could raise, but did not agree. She also lamented that the situation caused distress to the family and they resorted to selling properties to raise the ransom. Confirming her release, God's Power said she has been released and she is back home. In an accompanying video sent to our correspondent, Peace thanked everyone who had come to her rescue, saying that the military rescued them. She said, "Thank you everyone, my sister and I have been rescued. The military in Okpela has rescued us." Similarly, an ex-aide to the Delta State Governor Harrison Gwashu confirmed in a Facebook post on Tuesday that Peace and her sister has been released. He wrote that Gift Oyesom and Peace Oyesom, kidnapped while returning from the call to bar ceremony, have just been released near a village near Okpela, and it was a tough journey. Correspondent also reports that the Nigerian Police Force Public Relations Officer Benjamin Udein has also disclosed in a post that they were released in good health. The news is well detailed on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Says abducted lawyer and sister regain freedom. And now we've come to the end of the dailies this morning. Do not forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, all at Radio Afiju, and also on our website at www.afijufm.com. You can also listen to us on the Zeno Radio and also on Radio Garden at Afiju FM. Once again, I wish Nigeria happy independence, and here is to a future guided by visionary leadership, empowered communities, and unwavering patriotism. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Till I come your way again next week, Wednesday, for another edition of Dailies on Radio Afinju. My name remains Tolulope Awoyale. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your day.